Hey guys, so this is a different kind of video today. I'm just gonna kind of react to a match that me and some friends played against this unknown streamer, who I had not heard of before today, but it's Vampire Toothy, and he seems extremely good at unknown in terms of, knowing what balances he can get with his power, where to place hallucinations and stuff, and how to, kind of pressure the Survivor team as a whole. But we went and watched back the VOD just to be like, you know, what was happening, what was going on, what was being said, because after the match, some people in chat were saying some interesting things. And I just kind of want to go over how this mentality of us versus them can ruin this game. Now, I obviously have no idea how many Survivor hours he has. I am not saying this guy is fully like, oh, Killer has it worse than anything and all survivors are shit, whatever. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just going to go over some points that I think every player at some point has talked about, comments that people have made that I don't think are really productive towards benefiting DBD as a whole.
Actually, straight up melted their...
We did get on Larry's, and just to preface, we have a Shane on our team who was getting their last adept, and it was Shane, because my friend, they have gotten all their adepts except for Shane. And so because of that, they ran cross-examination. And I fully agree with Toothy here. Cross-examination, I think, is busted in its current form. I'm glad it's getting nerfed. But some interesting things are said about my friend, and obviously he didn't have any real way to know that my friend was adept. But that's also something we'll go back to later. And let me preface this. This playstyle I also just personally have an issue with. His whole playstyle is slugging. Remember me, Terminus, and Nurses calling Coloro? It's so that he slugs everybody, and while they're in his terror radius, whether he is there or because of the Eerie add-on, that gives his Husk a terror radius after he teleports. His goal is to down everybody and not let them recover each other and get up. That was his whole plan. And he's on a 15-game win streak, which is cool. And as soon as we figured out what some of the perks were, my friend Tori was like, oh, this is so similar to another unknown main, it might be that person. So then we immediately went, okay, we know what the perks are going to be. We know how we can fight this the best that we can.
Just tell someone that. Yeah, no, you have to be having the genuine worst day of your life. And, for what it's worth, if Dead by...
Sorry, I was like, oh my god, guys, it's an unknown. It's an unknown. I'm creaming my pants because I love going up against unknowns.
Daylight is causing you to do that for 6 minutes straight. Hats off to you if that's the worst thing happening in life. Honestly, that's a good...
One critique maybe, or one tip I would give here is, maybe don't leave chase so early, because that just allowed me to get on a gen and then we get 3 gens done pretty quickly. I get that setup, is pretty strong, but I'm like, you have unknown, you can shoot through the wall, you can try to outplay that, but you'll see a lot of not committing in this game that I think ultimately is the main reason why he lost.
Good life.
Spoiler alert.
Not happening. You know what could be happening, though? Maybe me actually getting into a chase that is not somebody pre-running 5 million years early.
So, he calls this...
Not happening.
Pre-running 5 million years early. He's almost to the gen. Tori's right here.
You know what could be happening, though?
That's not pre-running. That's seeing the killer and running away.
Maybe me actually getting into a chase that is not somebody pre-running 5 million years early.
That's an instant red flag for me. I'm like, oh, this guy is already like, the survivors are doing everything they can to hurt me, to combat me, to whatever. And also, I'm saying this as someone who's more killer hours than survivor hours. And I will do my best to bring up all the points that I agree with, or agree on with him. But that is not pre-running. That is literally not pre-running. I don't know what else to say.
They're pre-running so hard that I'm actually losing the ability to talk.
Again, not pre-running at all. You never lost sight of this Tori. They were never further than 10 meters away from you.
It's kind of wild.
He gets a good shot here. Really good patience. That immediately tells me, okay, this guy has a lot of hours with unknown because he is patient. He didn't fake it and try to get the M1, which is a good strategy, but he took the time to be patient and get the M2 to get the faster cooldown so that he could down Tory.
The Celestial...
And he places a really good hallucination there.
Celestial Kumar, though? You're not accounting for that possibility. There we go. I just gotta at least get it down to start with.
That is a similar tile to what I had earlier. He had a fantastic way to counter it. I think Unknown does better than most killers on this map. Unknown was my first P100. I have a few hundred hours with him. I am not some amazing Unknown. I'm not crazy good with him. This guy is better at Unknown than I am.
I was trying to shoot and didn't let me do it at the time that I wanted to. It gave me a delay.
That happens to me all the time. I will hold my M2 button and then try to shoot, and it just doesn't fucking work. That is a bug that I've run into as Unknown so much, and that's why his shot was off. I totally sympathize with that. That is part of why I kind of switched to playing other killers more than just Unknown, because of some of the inconsistencies like that. So I really feel for him right here. And then our friend Shane is over here. Again, Shane is adept. Did he have a way to know this? No. But let's see what his reaction is to finding out what Shane has for a perk.
Dude, why do they all pre-run so early, by the way?
So whenever you get a gen done, you usually run away to go do something else. Especially if the killer's in your terror radius. I don't know if he expected us just to sit at a gen and wait for him to get there so he could hit us. I don't know what he's expecting. I don't know if he's expecting us to hide, which, I mean, I guess could be a strategy. But if you get a gen done, are we just supposed to sit there and not do anything? I genuinely don't know why he's complaining about this specific pre-run. I guess I would agree it's a pre-run, but you're not pre-running from a gen that's not done. You got a gen done, and then you run away from it. So again, I'm confused by that terminology there.
This is actually crazy how early they're pre-running me.
Again, I would not call that pre-running.
But these guys just hold W and pre-run.
There has not been a single instance of us quote-unquote pre-running. Maybe me at the very start of the match, whenever I wasn't even on a gen. Maybe.
Oh, you've got cross-examination. Yeah, I gotta ignore you. I can't even chase that anymore. That's just actual torture for me at that point.
So I agree cross-examination is a difficult perk to go against, and especially on a map like Larry's where you can lose line of sight. I get that. So I don't actually blame this guy for leaving Shane alone and being like, fuck, I don't want to follow that, because you can't hear them, you can't see their aura, they don't leave scratch marks or piles of blood or anything. Totally valid.
He's doing the Rainless build.
He's running Adept. Again, I can't be too upset, because how the fuck is this guy supposed to know our Shane's running Adept? He doesn't. But I have a hard time calling anything in this game brainless, because I personally think that's just too much of a negative thing to say, and it just adds fuel to the fire.
That's fine. We can always...
He's about to get an insane shot, by the way.
Get a bleed out on somebody else in the meantime.
I have never seen a shot like that in my life, and I've never even thought to do that before. Whenever I was in that chase, I saw him shoot, and I thought he was going to, like, try to arc it over and hit me, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then my teammate got downed. That might be the most impressive Unknown shot I've ever seen. Fucking kudos to this guy. But reasons like this are why I think it's good for Unknown. You have windows to shoot through, you have walls you can hit through. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say good. It's better than most killers. I think Larry's is better for, like, Myers and Wraith and Ghostface, stealth killers like that. But Unknown has good map traversability. He has a power that can hit through walls. I think he is not the example you should use of, oh, this map sucks so bad for killer. Whenever his power, base kit, counters some of the hardships of Larry's.
I just never get a chance to shoot. There's always a line of sight breaker.
One thing he always does that I really don't understand is he holds his power out a lot, and I get in some instances it's like at the start whenever he held it out to injure Tory. That was really, really smart. But in instances where you're running around a corner, you're slowing yourself down and you're losing distance as a survivor is turning a corner. I think that's all on him. He is, for some reason, slowing himself down and then going, ugh, how am I losing this distance? Like, I think that's him taking out his frustration on his gameplay out on this Tory right here. And he still got the hit. So I don't really fully know what the complaint is, but hey.
Yep, there goes that gen. That's to be expected after a certain point.
I'll say this right now. He is very calm throughout this entire match. If I were in his situation and I had a match that went on for this long and was this stressful, I would be sweating, I'd be crying, I'd be shitting, I would be in disarray. This guy stays very calm. I don't know how people can do that. I get very stressed very easily. You could probably hear it in my voice just watching this over. But he stays incredibly calm. So again, kudos to him on that. Unknown, I think if you change the playstyle, especially if you bring more aura perks, if he brought nowhere to hide, oh, this match would be so much easier for this guy. Nurse's Calling does a lot of good for him, but oh my god, nowhere to hide would have been so good. Faster gen regression. He could have had us all slugged if he made the gens regress more, maybe with Call of Brine, and maybe like Overcharge and nowhere to hide. He could have done something different that I think would have come out with a very, very different ending. You know, where he probably would have won. Can't remember if he dodges this or not. No. Insane hit. Really good prediction with the bounce. Incredible.
Huge. Genuinely.
It's a good skip bounce.
Honestly, I'll just kick this. What?
We saw that in the playback, and our friend Sable was not was AFK whenever we were watching this, and we were all like, "What the fuck?" He brings up it being like a like a wide open throttle bug. It's not. Apparently, that's just a bug that can happen. I didn't even know about it.
Okay, we did have somebody over here, by the way. I'm gonna go after them.
And like, this is pre-running. 1,000,000% pre-running. If you want to complain about pre-running, do it here. I would be like, yeah, we're pre-running. Is it weird to complain about it? Maybe, but we're pre-running because we're injured. And as soon as we hit the Terrius, we're like, fuck, we gotta get out of there because we're trying to stay alive. And like, with a playstyle that kind of necessitates pre-running, I feel like complaining about it is a weird thing to do. But if you were going to complain about it, doing it where we actually hold W.
I really hate how they're playing this map, honestly. It's actually torture the way they're playing this out.
And I could easily have issue with that and say, what the fuck do you mean you're running a full slug build and playing the most uninteractive way you can with this killer? But the nice part of me really wants to believe that he more means like he's not actually mad at us. He's just mad that that's the scenario that he's in. He's not like, oh, these dirty survivors are doing this. He's like, fuck, they're playing it the smartest way possible. Maybe not the smartest way possible. That's fucking too narcissistic of me. But like, they're playing it really well. I think he was saying that more out of frustration about the scenario versus like him thinking negatively about us.
Like, look at this. They always have a space to run to. It's so I can just never catch them out of position.
So you see scratch marks, and you pull out your power, so you're losing distance before you even see where you haven't even seen a survivor yet, and you're pulling out your power. And I know you're tapping it to stay faster, but that slows you down now. It used to not slow you down. This slows you down. So even if it's a little bit of distance at a time, you are snowballing distance that you are losing. I'm not saying that we weren't pre-running from these gens. Whenever it got down to one gen, we were fucking pre-running. If I saw his Terriers, I ran, especially if I was injured, because that was the safest thing to do. I feel like he's being very counterintuitive right now, and he should have just waited until he saw a survivor to pull out his power.
Like, look at this. They always have a space to run to. It's terrible.
Again, every map has a place to run to, whether it's a good or a bad place.
Yeah, look at this. They are just cramming progress onto this gen as much as they can.
Uh-huh.
Good at taking advantage of being out of line of sight. It doesn't help that this one actual chud is running cross-examination right now, too.
Again, he's running adept. I don't think we need... I'm not trying to sound like a fucking, like a weeb. Don't name call people! I call people bitches and shit all that time during games, so I'm not actually holding it against this guy. He's a Shane, he's an adept. You haven't seen any other perks from him. Maybe you could put it together, maybe not. That's the first assumption I make, is if I see a survivor run one of their perks, my first thought is, are they adept? We were completely resetting during this, so we weren't even at that
But they're
gen.
also just resetting away from the gens, too.
Yeah, and he makes no effort to leave the gen to try to find us and throw us off guard. If he had caught us double or triple resetting in the corner of the map, we're cooked. But instead, he stays at these gens and doesn't try to find us resetting, even though he has a Nurse's Calling, and as you saw before, can easily find us resetting. Again, very counterintuitive in my opinion. He fucking outplays the hell out of me right here. Does I get hit? and then I get down and I don't have anything, so I just gesture to fucking, I don't know.
I'm gonna go back over to here.
Honestly, it was more to make myself look less dumb because I ran into a place because I had I think I had 5 moves ahead, and there was no pallet or anything that I could make, and I was like, fuck, I look like an idiot, so I just did that to make it seem like that's what I meant to do. Whenever he just simply outplayed me.
I can't even kick that anymore. That's how much they keep on going back for it.
You can't kick it because you kept kicking it. I know this probably is another thing of like he's not trying to be antagonistic or anything, but like that logic to me is so flawed of, oh, you guys are doing this gen so much I can't even kick it anymore. Well, you were holding a 3 gen, as he should, because it's a good 3 gen, but we're trying to get a gen done, and you're kicking it, and there's a kick limit.
I had a little bit of a hunch on this guy.
Good hunch to have. Good, really good killer instinct, no pun intended.
But Tori's higher priority. She's nearly dead. If I can turn this into a 3v1, that's a little bit better for me overall. Because the Shane does have cross-examination, mind you.
It's still a very fixated on that perk, like it's been the reason he's lost, or is losing. I just think that's a scapegoat at this point.
I don't hit that either, which also really sucks.
Yeah, that do be the case sometimes. I believe I get downed here. Yes, I do. And then Shane dropped the pallet. Shane was like, I'm so sorry. I thought they were going to go for me.
I need to go over to here.
But, like, imagine if I was downed sooner. I feel like that would have helped out a lot more. But, especially
They
because...
already opened the gate.
Yep.
Dude, I hate Leary so much. I really do. It's such a dumb map.
To me, this is just, you lost the match, you're frustrated, you are finding a way to let out that frustration and finding a scapegoat. I don't blame this guy for that. Genuinely do not believe he lost because it's Larry's.
Because with that and cross-examination, I just couldn't do anything.
And, like, cross-examination was on one person, and the one person that you probably chased the least. It wasn't on the three girls that were chased the most and down the most, except I think I might have been down the least. To me, again, it's giving scapegoat right now.
They just have way too much going in their favor here for such a shitty map for me.
We just knew how to counter your playstyle, my guy. We weren't given a shit ton of god palettes. We weren't given the most insane setups Larry's can have. Larry's can have disgusting setups. We clocked your playstyle from the very start, knew what we had to do, and did our best to complete it. On top of that, you left chases, in my opinion, too early. You focus too much on kicking gens in rapid succession. It's a combination of things. And he mentions later, if this was on any other map, and to be fair, he says the right thing in terms of, he says, if this was on a different map, I'd have a better chance. It depends on the map. 100% he might have a better chance.
Ended up losing to the map itself. I get.
You did not lose to the map. Was the map a part of it? Yes. Did you lose solely to the map? No. We played better than you. Whenever I play Unknown or I play Killer, most of the time, whenever I lose, it's because they played better than me. And am I going to admit that in the moment? No. Obviously, I'm not going to. I'm frustrated. My heart rate's up and everything. Blood's pumping. I'm not going to say that in a minute. So I'm not being like, wow, this guy should have been more level-headed. Again, he's been very calm. I'm just stating after the fact, it's not because of the map.
Guarantee you if they didn't get this map, we would have had a better chance, but...
Favorite thing he says, because that is true.
Cross-examination on this map kind of fucked the entire race.
And he didn't even mori me! Chat, can we cancel this guy for not moring me? He didn't even mori me! Come on. I'm kidding.
Idea. And you can't really account for cross-examination on Larry's.
I need to take a shot every time he mentions cross-examination on Larry's. No.
It really sucks to lose to, like, luck like that in that sense.
You didn't. You didn't just lose to luck, my friend. We countered your thing. Out of the 16 games you played, you ran into the one 4-man that knows how to play against this. That's gonna happen with streaks. It sucks. It really that's why I don't like doing streaks. I am not nearly good enough to do streaks like this. So props to him for being good at this game. Again, even though this is not a build that I condone at all.
Because I guarantee you, if they got any other map, we had a better chance at actually winning this.
Yes.
Probably would have actually won if it wasn't for Larry's. If I'm being honest.
Depends on the map. Pay attention to how he looks over the perks here, by the way. Complains about cross-examination for probably the 20 millionth time. Look at that. Shane's adept. Shane is adept. Not that you didn't believe me.
Yeah, cross-examination on this map fucking sucks.
Completely ignores the context of, oh, this guy was running adept. In my opinion, if, like, just having empathy, I go, oh, this guy didn't, like, actively choose to run cross-examination. He chose to get the adept. And the adept happens to be the survivor with cross-examination because it's the newest survivor. He didn't go, oh, I'm going to run this to run cross-examination because it's busted. It's because he had to get his adept. Anyways, if I want to get any message across with this video, it is that I think everybody, including me, needs to be better at how we view the opposing side in this game. Neither side is the villain. Neither side is, always out for blood or anything. They're always bad actors. This guy is not one of those. This guy was a good sport about it. I think he just let out his frustrations on the wrong things. But I think it's just a good example of how this kind of mentality can ruin the game for a lot of people. Good game. I hope you can do better on your streak for the next time. Again, I really hope maybe you would change up the playstyle a little bit. But again, just an opinion. And if anyone is watching this, honestly, go watch this guy. Watch him on stream, see how good he is. Give him a follow, give him a sub, whatever you want to do. As long as it's a nice thing. Because fuck people that would just go over to him and be like, fuck you, blah, 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 all this stuff. No. This is one match. This is one person's opinion on this match. Just had some thoughts that I wanted to get out there. Thanks for watching.